I think with anything, you should start with the why of it, the goals you have. I think of like programming as a strength coach, it's always about working backward from the sport. So if I'm working with a basketball player, okay, I know what it takes to be great on the court physically. Now, how can I see the demands of that sport, the work to rest intervals, the common injuries in that sport, the qualities that make basketball players great? How can I work backward and structure my training? And so that applies to me as well. I have goals with where I'm currently at, and my training is geared towards that. And so, one, if I don't have a goal, then I don't have anything that I'm training forward, and I'm just showing up and going through the motions. I think with anything, it's great to be intentional and have a why behind it and be working towards something. It's important to have that picked out ahead of time so that you have a purpose when you show up every day or when the alarm goes off in the morning, just as a way to get you there and be intentional about it. So a few of my goals for me, number one, above all else in this stage of life, is just keeping it fun and sustainable. Working out, training has been one of my favorite things to do for a long time. And my hope is to keep it that way, to always just looking forward to starting my day with a workout through the rest of my life, however long that is. Just keeping that fun, keeping that enjoyment, keeping that exploration. So for me, that comes down to like just a few ways that I structure my workouts. So doing like, from more of a macro view, just doing a phase or a movement for 4 weeks, just progressing it, getting good at it, and then cycling in something new just to keep it fresh, keep it exciting, and finding a new challenge every month or so. I think 4 weeks is kind of a good blend, good mix in the middle. It's enough time to get adaptation and get good at a movement, but not enough to burn out of it and get really sick of it. As far as qualities, just being a jack of all trades and not being really good at one specific thing. So I want to be strong, but also be mobile and somewhat fast and somewhat explosive. Just having all of these qualities rather than being really good at one specific thing. So if I devote 80% of my time to just being as strong as possible, then that leaves 20% to focus on those other qualities, and those are going to be diminished as a result. So maybe I'm super strong, but not as mobile as I would like, not as fast or as explosive, just because, again, you can only spend your time, so much time on certain qualities. You can't be the best of the best at every single thing. So for me, I'd rather not be good at one specific thing, but just be solid at a lot of different things. I feel like I can do anything that's asked of me, whether that's in training or in life. If I have to lift something heavy or go to an extreme range of motion or bend at a really weird angle, hit a golf ball far, move furniture, I mean, whatever it is, I just want to be able to be prepared for it. Third goal, just not having any chinks in the armor, not having any weaknesses. Just want to have balance through everything in terms of muscle groups and not having any weaknesses throughout the change, because when there's weaknesses in one area, then another area has to compensate, and that's when injuries happen and stuff just gets thrown out of whack. And so for me, I want to have balance in everything, and that's not only upper and lower body, or maybe you think of like a push and pull, but I apply that to like everything I do. I try to, for the shoulder, for example, for every flexion movement, I want to do an extension movement. Every internal rotation, I want to do an external rotation. So just balance with everything, not favoring one type of movement or one muscle action over the other, and also just attacking each joint of the body, each joint action. Again, that leaves me doing more exercises than the average individual, because I'm not only doing your multi-joint movements, your bench, your squat, pull-ups, all that good stuff, but also attacking each joint and making sure that each little muscle group is also being targeted and worked as well, so that there's not any chinks in the armor. There's not any place that's overcompensating. So just attacking each joint of the body and making sure the body itself is well-rounded and balanced. And then finally, just want to be able to train, 6 to 7 days a week. And so for me, like, one of the best ways to start my day is by working out. And so why not do that as often as I can? I feel like that just leads to better days and overall higher quality of life for me. So just structuring my training in a way that allows me to recover well enough and adapt well enough that I can train consistently every day if I want to. Just being smart with like volume management, not overdoing it on a given day, and also with the intensity, like the weights, overdoing that. And so for me, we'll get into more of the nitty gritty on that, but it's alternating upper and lower body, and then occasionally working on a rest day, but basically just giving those muscle groups of the upper and lower body day 48 hours to recover, just progressing it week to week and being really smart with that, which has come with a lot of trial and error, because there's definitely been times where I have overdone it, which has led to injury or just not getting results just because the body's worn down. But you also don't want to underdo it as well, because then, if you're underdoing it all the time, then there's no overload. You're defying the basic principle of strength training, the overload principle, where you have to stress the stimulus above what it's currently capable of to see progress. So just finding ways to overload the body just the right amount, the right dosage each way. And there's different ways you can do that, but just allowing my body to recover well while also being able to train consistently. So that's kind of the overall goals